welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be on this makeup look. I used the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Palette to create this look. Blue is my favorite color, so when I saw these colors in this palette, I had to use them. I've been playing around with it for a couple days now, and I absolutely love it. I didn't even use Fix Plus on any of the shades that I wore today, and they're still super pigmented. I had absolutely no problems with this palette, and I'm super impressed with the formula of it. So yeah, that's just my personal opinion. Every single shade that I have used so far in this palette has been nothing short of amazing. I love them all. Very, very easy to blend, and they're super pigmented. So I just wanted to say that just in case you guys wanted to know my little review, because I know there has been a lot of mixed reviews. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling now. So if you aren't already, then please subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much to me. And if you want to know how I got this makeup look, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I already filled my eyebrows in off camera, and then the first thing that I'm going to do is prime my eyelids. For that, I'm using the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. This is my favorite eyeshadow primer. It's super opaque, so it covers up all of my redness and discoloration on my eyelids. And then to set that so that it doesn't crease, I'm just taking any matte powder. You can use a translucent powder or just your face powder or even an eyeshadow. Anything will work for this as long as you set it down so that it doesn't crease on you. The first shade that I'm using out of the palette is called Jada, and I'm using a Sigma E40 brush. I'm just picking up a teeny tiny little bit of this just to start because these colors are very, very pigmented and I don't want to go in with too much at once. Still using that same shade, I'm going to switch to a Morphe M507 brush. It's just a very tiny, precise blending brush. I'm just going to start building that color up a little bit and creating my crease with it. So I'm basically just drawing this color on in a line a little bit above my crease and then buffing it upwards so that the most product is right where I want my crease to be. Now I'm going to start cutting the crease, and to do this I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. You can use any concealer you want. I suggest using your lightest concealer that you have so that it shows up more and is more of like a harsh line, because using a concealer that's very light in color is going to create a lot of contrast, which is what we want for this look. So basically what I'm doing is just taking this super tiny, precise brush, and this one that I'm using is from Morphe, but the name rubbed off in it, so I don't know what number it is. Now what I'm doing is drawing mine a little bit higher than where my actual crease is, just because I feel like this shape suits my eye better. You can draw the line right in your crease where the lines are, or below it, or higher, whatever you want to do. You can really create your own crease when you do this. So what I do is I just keep my eyes open and I look straight ahead, and then I just draw it a little bit above where my actual crease is, and then I just kind of drag that concealer downwards. And then after I'm done blending out that concealer, I'll go in right away and set it with a translucent powder. And I'm just doing this so that the concealer doesn't crease. You can go straight in with the shimmer shades if you want, but I find it better to set it first with a powder and then go with the shimmers. Now the first shimmer shade that I'm going to be using is called Beam, and I'm just packing this on a MAC 242 brush. I'm not using this wet or anything, I'm using it completely dry just so you guys can see how insanely pigmented these shades are. So I'm just packing this right into the inner corner, and then I'm stopping it about halfway through my eyelid. And then I'm going to go into the shade Pool Party, which is by far my favorite shade in this palette. It is stunning and so pigmented. So I'm picking this up on an Anastasia Beverly Hills A2 brush. And then I'm just packing that right in the center of my lid. And again, I'm not using my brush wet or anything. Then going back into the shade Beam on my MAC 242 brush and patting that over the line. Also, these shades blend together really, really well. As you can see, I'm hardly even doing anything, and they're just so easily blending together. And also, if you can tell, I'm not doing really any swiping motions. I'm more just packing and patting these colors on. I feel like it's a lot easier to blend shades together when you're patting, because when you're swiping, sometimes it can pick the other shade up and move it around, and I don't want to do that. I want to keep the shades exactly where they are, just blend them together. So that's why I'm patting it. Now I'm using that same brush, the Anastasia A2 brush, and I'm just using the other side of the brush, and I'm picking up the shade Twerk. What I'm going to do with this shade is just start packing it in the very outer corner and then blending it into the middle shade, just like I did with the first two shades. Now I'm going to take that Morphe M507 brush and pick up a little bit more of Jada and mix that with Twerk. And I'm going to start putting this right on the edge of the cut crease and just kind of blur that line out. Then for my eyeliner, I'm using the Inglot gel eyeliner in the shade Black. And the brush I'm using is a Sigma E06 brush. Then for my lashes today, I'm using the Flutter Lashes in the number 143. And the glue I'm using is the House of Lashes Lash Adhesive. And then while I'm waiting for that to dry down a little bit, I'm going to use my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara and do a coat of mascara on my lashes. And I'm taking my tweezers and grabbing the lashes right in the center as close as I can get to the lash band. And then I'm going to press them on in the center of my lid, and then once that's on, to the outer edge, press that on, and then go to the inner corner and press that on. Okay, now as always, before I finish off my lower lash line, I'm going to work on my face and get my face makeup on. That way it's easier for me to do my lower lash line. So the first thing I'm doing is taking my Milk Makeup Blur Stick, and I'm just gonna rub this right into the apples of my cheeks. And this is gonna do a really good job of filling in all those pores, making your face look a lot smoother, and it also mattifies your skin. Now to prime the rest of my face, I'm using the Kanan Awesome Prime & Protect Mattifying Primer. I think I say this in all of my videos, but this is my favorite primer. It's so good if you have oily skin. It just keeps my oils at bay like no other primer. So I'm just gonna dot this all around my face and then rub it in. For my foundation, I'm using the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. I use the shade Light Medium Sand, but I actually have self-tan on right now, so I'm pretty tan for what I normally am. Just a little bit too light for me right now, so I'm going to be using a drop of my Cover FX Custom Enhancer, or Custom Cover Drops. This is in the shade N70, so I'm going to mix that together, and that should be the perfect shade. I'm going to take my damp beauty blender and then blend that all in. Then for concealer, I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. I use the shade Light Neutral. I like using it to highlight the center of my face. So I'm putting it under my eyes, my forehead, right down the center of my nose, keep it small on my chin, and then that pimple. I'm blending that out again. To set all my concealer, I'm using the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. I'm almost out of this and I'm so sad. I love this powder so much. This is really, really good if you have dry under eyes, which I have really oily skin, but I just have the driest under eyes. And this powder works really, really good at blurring that out and make your under eyes look super soft. So I just dumped a little bit of that into the cap, and then I picked up about that much on my beauty blender. I'm just gonna press this in underneath my eyes to set them. Oh gosh. So I'm also setting anywhere else that I put that concealer. So forehead, nose, and my chin. It's because, like I said earlier, I am oily. So if I don't set my concealer, it will slip inside around my face. So I always have to set anywhere that I put concealer. Now moving back to the lower lash line, I'm taking the shade Twerk on a Morphe M432 brush, and I'm gonna pack that into my lash line. Then I'm gonna use this Morphe M507 brush and buff that out. I'm also taking just a little tiny bit. What is going on? So sorry, I don't know why my shirt keeps falling down. Just gonna take a little bit of Jada again, and then put this just a little bit below that shade so it kind of looks like an ombre effect. And then I'm taking this Coulourpop cream eyeliner gel in the shade Zulu, and I'm gonna line my waterline with this. Okay, I'm gonna bronze up my face a little bit. I'm using the MAC Give Me Sun Bronzer. I say this in all my videos. This is my favorite bronzer for the summertime. It just gives you such a nice, warm, sunny glow. Like it literally just looks like you've been sitting out in the sun. And the brush I'm using is a Morphe R7 brush. I'm going to contour my cheekbones a little bit, and I'm using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. Can you tell I love this? And since I ran out of my favorite shade, I'm going to be mixing these two shades to get like the perfect middle shade. This brush is an Anastasia A18 brush. Just going right into the hollows of my cheekbones and then circling that upwards. I'm stopping it about right at the corner of my eye. I don't want to take it in too far because that can kind of drag my face down a little bit. A lot of it actually. And I'm putting just a little bit in my hairline just to even everything out. Now for my blush, I'm using the Becca Wild Honey blush. This is just a really pretty natural looking blush that I love. So I'm putting this right on the apples of my cheeks, and this is a Sigma F10 brush. I'm going to take a little bit of my RCMA No Color Powder and a Morphe M572 brush. I'm just going to put this in a line right underneath my contour. And then bake that for like 5 minutes. And there goes my brand new shirt. Now for my highlight, I'm using the Jouer powder highlighter in the shade Citrine. And the brush I'm using is a Morphe R37. Put a little bit on the tip of my nose and then right down the center. Cupid's bow. Now for my lips, I still don't know what I'm going to do, so I'm going to try out 2 things, I think. I'm going to line my lips with the Coulourpop Lippy Pencil in the shade BFF. This is like my go-to lip liner. It's my favorite color ever. And then I'm using Too Faced Melted Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Cool Girl. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit of gloss because my lips are super dry right now. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Undressed lip gloss. Okay, so that completes this makeup look. I love how this turned out, so I hope you guys did too. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. And I think that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.